As one of the biggest Blake Lively supporters on this app, this footage that I'm about to show you guys is going to make it really, really difficult for me. Sorry, but this girl just keeps digging herself into a hole that I cannot dig her out of. This behind the scenes footage of them filming a very romantic scene. And in the scene, it is very apparent that Blake Lively is very comfortable and almost a little bit flirtatious. This could have been well before he did something that made her feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that SH did not happen on the set of this movie, but as new evidence becomes available, it is much harder to be on Blake Lively's side, and I am still trying.
In the latest chapter of Hollywood's never-ending drama, the spotlight now shines on Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, co-stars of the highly anticipated film adaptation of It Ends With Us. What began as a promising collaboration has unraveled into a legal battlefield, with accusations flying faster than a tabloid's front page. Lively, known for her composed and graceful presence, has leveled serious allegations against Baldoni, accusing him of misconduct and orchestrating a smear campaign against her. Baldoni, refusing to stay silent, has fired back with lawsuits of his own, claiming defamation and extortion. As the legal battle intensifies, the once glamorous on-screen partnership is now playing out as a real-life Hollywood scandal.
Times released Blake Lively's complaint suing Justin Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, Jamie Heath, his PR company, and many more. There are a lot of allegations in this complaint, but primarily it alleges sexual harassment and retaliation. The complaint goes into significant detail about what occurred, including an all-hands meeting where Blake's team presented a list of items that Justin Baldoni and his team had to immediately cease. There were also thousands of pages of text messages indicating that Baldoni and his team planned social media attacks against Blake Lively. Okay, so how does all of this work from a legal perspective? Blake must prove her claims by a preponderance of the evidence, meaning that it is more likely than not that the harassment and retaliation occurred. So what are the next steps? Justin and the other defendants have 30 days to respond to the complaint. Okay, so Justin does not need to prove his innocence, but his team will need to disprove Lively's version of the events to show that the allegations are false or that his conduct was actually lawful.
Amidst this legal firestorm, the spotlight has now shifted to Lively's attorney, who, after suffering a major courtroom defeat, has reportedly vanished faster than a Hollywood marriage. As the drama escalates, the unfolding saga of lawsuits, accusations, and sudden disappearances is proving to be more gripping than even the most outrageous soap operas.
He can also countersue. There was also a question about whether Justin would be held personally liable or whether he would be indemnified by the studio. Under California law, Justin can be held personally liable for his actions if he was acting in his personal capacity and not as a producer, director, or employee of the studio. So what about damages? In this type of case, Blake does not necessarily need to claim financial damages. She can just claim wrongful conduct. However, that is not the case here, and any good lawyer knows to throw in the kitchen sink in a complaint. The complaint alleges that Blake's personal brand suffered, as well as her businesses, including her alcohol brand, Betty Boo's, and her hair care brand, Blake Brown. So, will this case go to trial? In my opinion, it is unlikely that this kind of case will settle because Blake Lively has plenty of money. This will likely go on for quite some time, so stay tuned because Baldoni's answer is due.
The saga began on the set of It Ends With Us, the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. In January 2023, the casting announcement confirmed Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni as the leads, with Baldoni also stepping into the director's chair. By May of that year, filming was underway, but murmurs of on-set tension began to circulate. These whispers grew louder in December 2024, when Lively filed a formal complaint, accusing Baldoni of fostering a hostile work environment through inappropriate comments and unwelcome advances. She further alleged that after voicing her concerns, Baldoni and his team launched a smear campaign in an attempt to damage her reputation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're going to have to rename this movie to It Never Ends because Justin Baldoni has just filed his own 80-page lawsuit. this time against the New York Times for defamation, specifically $250 million worth of defamation in what he says is actually a smear campaign against him. So because we're intellectually honest over here, I read the entire lawsuit from front to back.
Baldoni wasted no time in firing back. In January 2025, he launched a $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, accusing them of orchestrating a calculated effort to sabotage his career. He alleged that the Power couple leveraged their Hollywood influence to wrest creative control of the film from him, ultimately pushing him to the sidelines. Baldoni's complaint depicted a battle for dominance, painting Lively and Reynolds as industry heavyweights determined to take over the production at his expense.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. There's a number of different defendants here. Stephanie Jones will be all over this complaint. That is the PR agent who was supposed to be working for Justin Baldoni. Leslie Sloan, who's another PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
As the legal battle escalated, both sides waged a war in the court of public opinion. Lively's team released a series of text messages allegedly showing Baldoni's publicists strategizing ways to damage her reputation in the media. One particularly damning message read, "We can bury anyone," seemingly suggesting a deliberate effort to undermine Lively's image. Baldoni's camp swiftly fired back, accusing Lively of twisting the context of these communications to fit her narrative. They argued that the messages were selectively edited and did not constitute evidence of a coordinated smear campaign.
Justin Baldoni's lawyer has spoken out on a podcast in regards to the potential of a settlement between his client and Blake Lively. As well, an intimacy coordinator has weighed in and has said that she thinks that Blake trusted Justin at one point. Basically, Blake Lively Justin Baldoni cases likely won't settle before trial, and this is according to Justin's lawyer. So 3 months after Blake Lively levied SH allegations on the set of It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni's lawyer admitted that a settlement likely isn't in the forecast. Now, that is significant because generally civil cases do end in settlement. The vast majority of them do. However, there can be cases where things are really, really intense and you've got parties that just will absolutely refuse to settle. And I think that is interesting because previously we have seen that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni both refused to meet with the mediator and potentially have a settlement. So what was true in February, it seems nothing much has changed. We're still going to court, at least according to Brian Friedman. So the high-profile litigator Brian Friedman noted that his client has been destroyed by this, his words, as he broke down the cases during a recent appearance on the podcast The Town. So the host said, how long can this go on? I don't believe there will be a trial in the case. I think that the potential for the circus and the damage to both sides here will ultimately win out and you guys will settle. So if that's the case, why not just settle now? And then said, what's the number? What would it require for this to go away? Just to stop. And I think it's interesting. We talked a bit in the chat just about this, and a lot of people felt like the only thing that would really make a settlement possible would be an apology, a public apology.
Amidst the swirling legal and PR storm, attention shifted to Lively's legal team. Her lawyer, once a vocal presence in the media, suffered a major setback when a judge dismissed a key portion of Lively's lawsuit, citing insufficient evidence. The ruling dealt a significant blow to Lively's case and cast a spotlight on her legal team's tactics. Following the courtroom defeat, reports surfaced that Lively's attorney had become unresponsive, missing scheduled meetings, and seemingly vanishing from the public eye. Speculation ran wild. Some suggested the lawyer had gone into hiding to escape the fallout, while others believed they were regrouping to formulate a new strategy in response to the recent setbacks. Whatever the reason, the lawyer's sudden disappearance only deepened the intrigue in an already tangled and dramatic saga.
So Friedman then said, you keep referring to it as a circus, and I get it. You see a lot of cases, you see a lot of things, and you do a great job. But the reality is this is not a circus when you go through an experience like this. And that's true. I think it's easy for people to kind of sit back on the sidelines and be able to, take this in almost as entertainment. But these types of cases take a massive personal toll. They take a huge financial toll. So Friedman added, I've represented a lot of people in the worst moments of their careers, the worst moments of their life. And Justin has been destroyed by this. This is a really serious thing. And in this day and age, the only way you can truly get back is to prove your innocence. And he noted how trials are now important to prove your innocence. And that's exactly what we're working to, he said. So that may only be done in a courtroom. And I think that that's entirely possible. And we're going to see how things go when it comes to that.
The media frenzy surrounding the case has been nothing short of relentless. Tabloids have scrutinized every twist and turn, from the initial allegations to the latest courtroom maneuvers. Public opinion remains sharply divided. Some rally behind Lively, praising her for speaking out against alleged misconduct, while others see Baldoni as the target of a calculated effort to derail his career. Meanwhile, social media has become a battleground of debates, memes, and conspiracy theories, with each new development fueling the fire. The case has not only captivated Hollywood, but has also sparked a cultural divide, reflecting the polarized views of an audience watching the drama unfold in real time.
I don't know how many of you guys remember this article, but it was absolutely everywhere. And basically, Mia's take on the video was that it didn't prove Justin's case. It actually backed up Blake's, which a lot of people disagreed with, and it caused a lot of controversy. So I was interested that Mia spoke for this documentary. So let's get into what Mia said. So a Hollywood intimacy coordinator believes there was, at least at one point, some affection between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. So Mia, whose credits include Apple TV Plus's Lessons in Chemistry and HBO's Insecure and Perry Mason, weighed in on the dramatic on-set feud between the It Ends With Us co-stars, which is now the subject of multiple lawsuits. Dueling lawsuits filed by Lively and Baldoni include text messages the stars sent to one another while filming the movie, including a discussion in which the pair discussed script changes that Baldoni ultimately acquiesced to.
Amid the chaos, the production of It Ends With Us has been eclipsed by the ongoing legal turmoil. Once poised for a major release, the film's promotional efforts have been derailed by relentless negative publicity. Industry insiders speculate that the highly publicized feud could dent the movie's box office prospects and diminish its chances for awards recognition. Meanwhile, the project's financiers are reportedly growing anxious about recouping their investments, given the reputational damage surrounding its leading stars. Beyond Hollywood, the legal community has also taken notice, particularly regarding the conduct of Lively's lawyer. Ethics committees are said to be reviewing the attorney's actions, with scrutiny intensifying following their sudden disappearance. Legal peers have expressed shock at the uncharacteristic vanishing act, warning that such behavior could have lasting repercussions on the lawyer's career. As the dust settles, pressing questions remain. Can Lively and Baldoni recover from such a high-profile clash? Will the film overcome its scandal-ridden press cycle to resonate with audiences? And perhaps most intriguingly, will Lively's lawyer re-emerge to continue the fight, or has this legal battle claimed yet another casualty?